So this goes over kind of what I just did, right? It goes a little bit more in depth, talking about the virtual office manager. Like I said, we do have someone in-house that does answer some of the phone calls, but we can always forward it to our virtual office manager after hours and things of that nature. So they don't just get an answering machine, they can actually talk to a live person. Onboarding new agents, that's something that's done in our case by the growth manager as well as the office manager.
I like that.
Providing daily support to agents when they have questions about different things, they can go ahead and get that information. Whether it's ordering cards, ordering signs, and all of that is on our back end website. And we use BrokerMint, but you can log in there and we have a link to our W-9. We have our NAID numbers. We have our entire collection of Nexus University, which is all the trainings that we do. We record them so people can watch those. All of it's right there. So a lot of times it's a matter of just saying, here, go check out this video. They also order office supplies. So if we need stuff in the office, they can do that. Transaction coordinator, I think, all brokers know what transaction coordinators do. They basically help us along in the transaction so we actually get them to close. Reviewing contracts, paperwork, making sure that we are meeting deadlines. What's up, Tristan?
Question on the virtual office manager.
Sure.
When you're setting up the trainings, where are you placing those trainings? Like, is it on Dropbox, Google? Is it Trainual?
We have it on YouTube.
Oh, and you use private links for that? Is that what you're doing? Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
Yeah. So we have all of our trainings that we've done on forms, like all that stuff, and we just put it all on there so that all of our brokers have access. So a lot of times it's as simple as saying, hey, did you watch this training? Here, go watch that.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I like that.
And then our marketing manager, of course, the video editing, marketing materials that I talked about, buyer's packet, seller's packet, content creation for social media, of course, that's huge. Our growth manager, like I said, the cold calls, follow-up emails, conducting research on cold and warm leads. We keep track of, different people who, when they're considering moving, what their concerns were. If we can hashtag them in the system. So if we have people that were concerned about, us hitting phase 2 or whatever it is, then we'll check back with those people. And so we just kind of run what we need to get done for that time. And then of course, lead gen, you've got to have lead gen. Just for getting the name out there, for the brokers, all that good stuff. So they engage in the Facebook groups, LinkedIn, right? That's a huge one for recruiting. I love when people are like, where'd you get my information? And I'm like, you realize you're on every social media, right?
So true.
So then of course, managing broker, which I talked about, they're amazing. I love having the extra set of eyes and ears to answer questions and also just do extra trainings. I like to do at least one training a week. And a lot of times in markets like this, when forms and, people are pulling out different parts of the purchase and sale, you got to update that constantly. So, we have a talk with the managing broker where there's a Zoom meeting where the brokers can get on and talk to him at any time during that time Tuesday. So it's important to have not only the sales meeting, my training, but also another time, because they're not having the interaction in the office every day. I think it's important for them to have their cameras on and be participating in the virtual meetings. That's one of the things I've heard about other virtual brokerages where they use like avatars versus actual pictures. And I appreciate having the actual pictures because you get the ability to get to know people and you know what they look like. And it really does give you the option to feel like you know the person even if you've never met them in person.
Yeah, I think I love that.
Yeah. So there's the online office expenses.
Ooh, okay. Let's see here. What's the most expensive thing? The designated broker is the most expensive one. Makes sense.
Yeah, so you get to take that out if you're your own designated broker. I'm just going to run and shut a door really quick because I
Yeah, no
hear
problem.
background noise. So give
Go
me.
kick some people. Go.
Oh, it's okay. Sarah
Oh.
got it. I was like, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, boom, it's done. See, in office, so important.
Love that.
Yeah. So this is really kind of the nuts and bolts. And you can see a lot of the salaries of the online, the VA is insanely low considering how much work you're having done. That's, I think, one of the greatest benefits of having VAs, virtual assistants versus in office, because of course, in office is going to be much higher priced.
Got it. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, and this is, of course, the big kicker that everybody wants to know about is commissions, right?
Okay.
Net commission, where we make a big difference is the net commission that brokers take home. Even if they were at, you know, a 70-30 split, it adds up real quick. So that is my presentation, my thing. So I want
to go a little deeper on a couple of things here. Hold on. I took a picture. Did I take a picture? I did. Where is it? I want to go and a little deeper on something I took a picture on one of your slides. So let me share it and then you can tell me what's up. Can you see that? Okay, so the virtual company structure, you've got the designated broker. They're virtual, right?
I am.
Okay, perfect. All right, so then from there, I want to start at the top on the lead generation manager. Is that person in charge of creating opportunities, like actually calling up possible clients? All right, so tell me about that a little deeper than what you were doing.
So there's lead generation where they're following up, right? You've got someone who's clicked on what I call clickbait. You know, they were looking at a house online. It's linked to, you know, our KV Core. We get their information, we capture it, we call them, we follow up, we see what they were looking for. There is absolutely that form of lead generation. Okay. Then there's also cold calling. We are desperate for listings right now. So we absolutely have VAs calling cold calling where, you know, you pay to get someone's number and information. So we have their address, name, phone number, and an email address, but they haven't requested information on selling their home. We're just absolutely cold calling, trying to get more than, you know, 3 weeks inventory.
Okay, cool. So with that, are they using like RedX or are they using a dialer?
Timble. We use Timble.
All right, and then where are you getting them from? Where are they getting the information from to call?
So we have farming lists that we pull from your title company, right? So I call up my Fidelity reps and I'm like, hey, Tanner, Brandon, this is what I need. This many houses around here that have lived there this long. You know, I give them parameters for the people that are most likely to sell, because you don't want to waste your time, you know, calling someone who just purchased 2 months ago. That doesn't make sense. And then we take those lists and we send them to either like Ivy Data or one of those services that you can sign up for where you pull all the phone numbers and email addresses, because clearly the title company just gives you the recorded information, which is names and addresses for those locations, and we can see how long they've lived there. So I use a variety of sources to pull those lists together.
Okay, cool. Because I was wondering on the lead gen. So tell me more on the lead gen side. Are you having your virtual staff that's outside of the country calling?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's interesting because people never have any idea that the person that called them is outside of the country. Like when I go on these appointments, because I'll go on some, right? There's lead gen for the entire brokerage, but if there's nobody to take them or there's no one that is experienced and they want someone to go along with them, I go. So I'll go on those appointments, and it's so interesting because they're like, oh, he's so nice. You know, he works up in Kirkland. And of course, the VA doesn't say I work in Kirkland. They're like, the office is in Kirkland. And so it's so interesting that they have absolutely no idea. And I tell them, I'm like, well, you know, that was Jay or Joey, and they were calling from the Philippines. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, they're virtual assistants. And it's great because I think a lot of people have kind of a notion that, you know, that they're not going to have the same conversation or they're not going to be as personable. And I think it's completely the opposite. The VAs that I have through Virtudesk are amazing, and they have far and away exceeded my expectations of friendliness and getting appointments.
All right. So hold on. Don says you're a smart cookie. Don Kearney. Thanks, Don. Good job. Good job. All right. And then lastly, I know we got 3 minutes, but I want to talk about the growth manager. Is that person picking up the phone and also calling agents like new?
Oh, yeah. They
agents?
LinkedIn message them, Facebook message, they call, they go all across the board to reach out to brokers.
All right, that's super cool. So what's their schedule like? How many of these do you have? 1, 2, 3?
I have one.
Okay.
I have one who does that, and he does it full time.
Can you take me through the day of a growth manager?
Well, I can take you through the work day. I don't know about the whole day, but so, you know, they get up, they check in, they say, you know, what area they're concentrating on. If they know that a brokerage is being bought or sold, or they've talked to one broker there who said that there's a lot of people who are unhappy. Sometimes we concentrate on certain brokerages or areas, or it's, hey, I'm going to be spending the day searching LinkedIn today to see who's posting, who's participating, you know, that type of information. When they're out looking on who to scout, it's not just a blanket, it's not just a free for all. We want producing brokers who are interested in upping their game and would fit well at a virtual brokerage.
I like that. All right, good. I think we could probably expand on all of these, which I love. Like I could totally see us going deeper on lead generation manager, because you can start hiring the lead generation. You could be like, okay, you're going to be just dialing cold leads every day, right? Then the next one's going to be, you're going to be calling our database, right? And then you could just go deeper and deeper. And the growth manager, in the same way, you could be like, okay, you're in charge of social media, right? LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. And you're going to work closely with the marketing team to be able to grow that as well. And then the other part, you're going to also have a specialty of picking up the phone and dialing cold and making sure, I would say, like making sure our current agents are still happy there. I love this. I just sent it to my team to dig deeper on.
And the other part about it is, for the lead generation manager, I love the fact that my brokers can also basically have their own lead generation managers to work their databases. And we really show them how to do it and how to grow it. And we've hooked up a lot of our brokers are having their own VAs that are doing like little mini pieces of this puzzle as well. And as they grow their teams, they're adding in the pieces that will make sense for them too.